This is a young agricultural worker who alleged to have suffered an injury with a sickle while working in the field. He presented to us within a few hours of the injury, and as you can see, there is a complicated corneal tear with uveal prolapse and severe corneal edema and a flat AC. We had to post him as an emergency, and this is how the surgery went. Initially, we planned just to correct his tear and form the anterior chamber. So, as you can see, it's a triangulated tear, and the first issue I'm addressing is to handle that apex out there. I have to close that gap first, and then I will be able to suture the other linear tears much easier with more ease. I'm not planning to uh, uh, I am planning, in fact, I am planning to preserve the uveal tissue, and that's the first suture that I have done. And this is how I usually suture. I first take 3 throws, then across another 2 throws, and then finally square it off with a single throw and cut the knot very close. Once that suture has been done, I am first addressing that area. This will be the most difficult area to close and probably the area where the leak will happen. The rest is pretty linear and that should be easy to close. Again my 3 throws and then 2 throws and then a single throw. So it's a 3-2-1 configuration that I usually do. And try and stay tangential to the direction of the tear, and in this at least the large linear part, there is not much shelving, so the bites on either side of the tear are almost equidistant. The other important point is uh, to since the globe is soft, it's very difficult to take bites at the cornea. So initially when you're entering the first lip, you hold on with your tooth forceps to the edge of that lip, go in, and then when you're coming out from the other lip, use your tying forceps or the tooth forceps to give counter traction on the other side. You have to be very careful and make sure that the depth of your suture on either side of the lips are equal. Don't make it unequal, you will get overriding of the lip wounds. And the other important thing to remember while doing any corneal tear suturing is the tension that you tie your suture with. It has just got to oppose the wound edges. Don't make it too tight, as this will cause ischemia, and also it will be a hindrance in healing. And about the length of the suture, try not to make the sutures too long, and neither should it be too short. Usually it's about 1.5 millimeters on either side of the wound. And once that main area has been addressed, I can easily address this linear tear. This is the easy part of the surgery. Try not to go full thickness. Go at least 90% thickness. Full thickness, you may pick up some uvea into your suture. And that is the most difficult area. I have to suture that gap. Somehow I have to oppose that gap. I don't want a fistula to develop. Only thing is, it's in the periphery, and even if there is a small leak, it will get plugged by some uveal tissue. I'm trying to bury some of the knots. Eventually, I will be burying all the knots. In a trauma case, or any case in fact, corneal sutures, I don't think it's a wise decision to leave the knots exposed. Always bury the knot. I'm almost coming to the end of the surgery, and I try to bury all the knots within the stroma of the cornea. Sometimes you can put in some air and do this step. Anyway, I've done it. I'm now filling up the chamber with air, and there it has filled up well. I conclude the surgery by giving a subconjunctival of antibiotic and steroid. Thank you for watching.